right, so today we're going to solve Unit 6, Lesson 15, Efficiently Solving Inequalities. So I can solve inequalities by solving related equations and then checking which values are solutions to the original inequality, and that you can graph those solutions on a number line. So that's kind of what we're doing here. So it says select all the values that could be solutions. So negative x is greater than or equal to -4. Well, I know that I can check these. So a -3 is greater than or equal to -4. Well, that would be a +3. 3 is greater than -4. Let's check the next one. So then I have -3, so a -3. Oops, I think I goofed the first one, hang on. I think I put too many negatives, let's try that again. Okay, so I know I have -x, so that would be -3. -3 is not greater than or equal to -4, that's out. So now let's try -3, is that going to be greater than or equal to -4? Well, that's 3 is greater than -4, and that's true. Let's try 4. So -4, is that greater than or equal to -4? Well, yeah, it's equal to. Okay, let's try a -4. So we have -4, is that greater than or equal to -4? So that would be a +4, is that greater than or equal to -4? Yep. Okay, and then 4.001, that's going to work, and that's going to work. And the reason I know that is because both of this one and this one worked, and these are larger than 4, because that 1,000th makes it larger. Well, hang on, nope. That one's not going to work because, let's look at it. So let's look at this one. So if I have a -4.001, that is not going to be greater than or equal to -4. That's going to be further to the left on the number line. So it should be B, C, D, and F. All right, they want us to graph the solutions on the number line. So I know that I'm going to have a closed dot on -4. And I know that I'm doing all of the numbers this way. Because if I look at my answer choices, that would be -3, -4, So now it says, how are the numbers in the top row and the bottom row related? Okay, so I'm going to choose an easy one. So if I look here, I know that x is added to 2. So in each row, whatever x is, I need to add 2. All right, so if I'm going to solve this one, it says x minus 3. So if I was going to solve it, x minus 3 is greater than -2. So that means that I would add 3 to each side, and I figure out that x is greater than -1. So if I look at it, I know that x is going to be greater than -1. So I'm going to use an open circle, and I'm going to graph it going this way. So when x is -1, it works out. See, All those numbers going in the same direction. Okay, I'm gonna divide by 2 on each side. So x is less than 3. So x has to be less than 3. So that means I'm gonna use an open dot on 3, and I'm gonna go in that direction because x has to be less than 3. Now this one's where it gets tricky because we've got all these negative numbers. So if I look at the two tables, if you see here, there's a change. So when you divide by a negative, you have to flip the direction of the inequality. So x then is greater than negative 3 because I have to flip the inequality when I divide by a negative number. So that means I'm going to use an open circle on negative 3, and x is greater than. So if I look, x is greater than negative 3. How are these two solutions different? Okay, well, you know that the arrows are going in the opposite direction. You know that one is negative and one is positive. Alright, so if I wanted to solve this one, I'm going to do it just like I would with an equation. I'm going to subtract 5 on each side. So I'm left with 20 equals negative 4x. So then I'm going to divide by negative 4 on each side. So x is equal to negative 5. Now I need to fix this part. So I know that I have to flip the direction of the inequality. So x is less than or equal to negative 5. So I'm going to have a closed dot, and I know x is less than or equal to negative 5. Alright, distributive property. So 3x plus 12 is greater than 17.4. So I'm going to subtract 12 on each side, and I get 3x is greater than 5.4. I'm going to divide by 3. X is greater than 1.7. Now 1.8. Okay, so I have an open dot, and x is greater than that, so it's going in that direction. Oh goodness, okay, so the distributive property again. So I've got negative 3x, and then a negative times a negative is going to be a positive. So 3 over 1 times 4/3 gives me 12 over 3, which works out to be 4. So now I'm going to subtract 4 on each side. I'm left with 2. So now I divide by that negative 3 on each side. So I have to flip the inequalities. So x is greater than or equal to negative 2/3. So that means I have a closed dot, and it's going to go in this direction. Alright, what if a classmate asked you for help solving inequalities? Well, I could tell them solve like an equation. I could tell them flip the inequality when dividing by a negative. All right, so your cool down is to solve these two problems. When you're done, go ahead and submit. If you need help or you're not understanding, please just let me know and we'll go from there. Have a great rest of your day.